Hello, boys and girls. This is Pastor Mark talking to you because of the fact that our church will not be meeting for the next few weeks through the time of Christmas. I thought it would be very good for me to take some time and share some chapters of a Christmas book with you during these next weeks before Christmas time and including the week of Christmas. If you remember last Easter, I shared a story called Peter's First Easter, and today I'd like to begin sharing with you a book by the same author and illustrator called Mary's First Christmas. It's by Walter Wangerin Jr., and it's illustrated by Timothy Ladwig. And what I'll do in the coming weeks is read a chapter and give you a couple questions to think about as we read this book together. So just like I did before with the other couple of books that I read, just wanted to start out before I read with just a couple of things to think about. This story is about Mary's experience of her first Christmas, and I want you to think about how Mary was feeling and what she would have been going through as we read this story. And also want you to think about how you would feel if you were going through these stories with her. So let's begin our story for today. Mary's First Christmas, reading chapter 1. Sharing with you the opening pictures. Chapter 1. Yes, ye, come, it's getting dark. A woman lights an oil lamp, then kneels and unrolls a flat mattress made of straw. The room is chilly, so she spreads a woolen blanket over the mattress. Yes, she calls, it's time for you to sleep now. She lays a little pillow filled with goat's hair at the top of the mattress. This is a treat, since poor people don't usually sleep with pillows. The woman's face is dark with thinking. She has something on her mind. Her name is Mary. Yes, she. Now a small boy comes into the room. His head is wrapped in a rough piece of cloth, a bandage, brown with blood. This is Mary's son. She calls him Yeshi as a nickname, but his real name is Jesus. Let's have a look at that, she says. Mary unties the bandage. In the middle of the child's forehead is a gash, a purple wound. Mary touches it. Does it hurt? She says. Jesus nods, his eyes big with sadness. I'm sorry those boys threw stones at you, his mother says. She opens a small stone jar and pours olive oil onto the tips of her fingers. Gently she rubs the oil on Jesus' forehead to keep the bandage from sticking to the wound. It wasn't your fault, Yeshi, Mary says. People can be cruel. Just after you were born, a very old man named Simeon made a prophecy about you. He said that when you grow up, people will hurt you much worse than this. Ah, Yeshi. The woman binds the bandage around her child's head, then hugs him tightly. Lie down, and I will tell you a story before you sleep. As Jesus crawls under the blanket, his mother stretches out beside him, saying, It's a true story, a very important story. It's the story of how you were born. And the reason why I want to tell you it to you is love. You should never forget the love. When the bad days come, you should remember that on the night you were born, the whole sky exploded with love, and the angels shouted, and more than 1,000 hearts were in love with my baby Jesus on his birthday. My love. The story starts with an angel. Actually, it was just a plain day for me. I was hoeing in the bean patch, dreaming about the man who was going to marry me soon, Joseph the carpenter, strong and true. But suddenly the sky went dark. I looked up and saw a great black cloud blocking the sun. It flashed with lightning, and the lightning made thunder, and the thunder seemed to be talking. The thunder did not say, kaboom! Instead it said, hello. The thunder said, hello, you person precious to God. The Lord is with you. Who was the thunder talking to? To me. Oh, that scared me. I turned to run, but all at once the sun was shining again, because the cloud had drawn narrow like a tornado and was dropping down to the earth, down to the bean patch, down to me. When the tip of the long cloud touched the ground, I looked, and in the middle of the whirling wind I saw an angel, and the angel was talking to me. But this time his voice sounded like breezes in the cedar trees. Don't be afraid, he said. God has chosen you, Mary, to give birth to a baby, a boy, and you shall call his name Jesus. A baby? I dropped the hoe. I almost sat down on the beans. I was going to have a baby boy. Just then the angel began to sing. He will be great, and he will be called the Son of the Highest of High. He will be king over Israel, and his kingdom will never die. See the angel's wings in the corner of the picture here. The song was lovely as trumpets. Birds landed on branches to listen, and the donkeys raised their ears. But I kept thinking about the baby because the angel had made a mistake. Excuse me, sir, I said, but I can't have a baby. The angel frowned and blinked at me. Because, I said, I don't have a husband yet. Right away, the angel grinned and began to sing again. Spirit of the Highest of High will overshadow you, and holy shall your baby be, God's son, and your son too. You see, the angel said, with God nothing is impossible. For example, how old is your cousin Elizabeth? Old, I said. Very old. Well, said the angel, in 3 months that woman, who never could bear a baby before, is going to become a mother. What do you think of that? Babies. Elizabeth and I were going to have babies, and mine would be Jesus. My baby was going to be you, Yeshi. So I said, yes, let it happen to me exactly as you say. Whoosh! The angel in the whirlwind flew straight up into heaven and disappeared. I was so happy then that I forgot about the beans, I forgot about the hoe, I even forgot about Joseph the carpenter, strong and true. I raced to my mother, and I told her I was going on a trip to visit cousin Elizabeth. And then I was gone. Oh, I felt as if I were flying, south over a valley and over the hills, south to the house of Zachariah, the husband of Elizabeth. Just as I was coming up the path, Elizabeth stepped outside, wiping her hands on a towel. Hello, I cried. Hello, hello. As soon as she saw me, she dropped the towel and grabbed her big stomach and gasped. Are you hurt? I shouted. Elizabeth, did something hurt you? But my old wrinkled cousin only started to laugh. She ran to meet me and hugged me and put wet kisses all over my face. No, I'm not hurt, she laughed. When you called out, my baby jumped for joy inside of me. Oh, Mary, you are blessed among all the women of the world, and blessed is your baby, too. Well, if Elizabeth was laughing, I laughed harder. I laughed for gladness. I laughed for loving you already, Yeshi. I laughed because of the love of God. Oh, let me show you the pictures on this page here. So you can see Gabriel speaking and Mary running, and on the other side here you have Mary visiting her cousin Elizabeth. And now we come to the last page of the chapter. And then, just like the angel, I sang a song about that love. You want to hear my song? Okay, but close your eyes first. It's getting late, and this is enough of the story tonight. I sing the greatness of my God, who chose to raise his lowly maid. while putting down the rich and proud. Oh, holy is his name. The Lord remembers Israel. His mercy and his love remain. As with our fathers it was well, with us be it the same. Good night, Yeshi. Good night, my beautiful child. The next time we talk about your birthday, I'll tell you a secret. How Joseph almost didn't become your daddy. Brothers and sisters and boys and girls, this is the end of that chapter, and you can see at the bottom of the page down here is the little house where Mary and Jesus and Joseph live in Nazareth. And that's the end. Chapter 1. So as I said before, I just want you to think about what Mary was probably feeling when the angel Gabriel came to visit her to say that she would be the mother of God's own son, and what it would have been like to go to visit her cousin Elizabeth and find out that she too was just about to have a baby of her own, and how God was keeping his promises to both Mary and Elizabeth. So boys and girls, thank you for listening to this story time. I look forward to doing this the next few weeks, and look forward to retelling the story of Christmas through Mary's eyes with you. And as I've talked to you about before, as we leave this time together, I want to remind you that Jesus loves you very much. He's always there with you, and he will always keep you safe. God bless you, boys and girls. Look forward to talking to you again. Bye-bye.